Hello, I'm Emma from English. In this video, I'm going to go over the English pronunciation of country names. Now, many of you have been asking for a video like this because the way that native English speakers say your country names can be quite different to the way that you do. And this can be a real challenge for communication. When you're listening to a native speaker, or when you're speaking yourself to make sure that you are understood. What's interesting with country names, though, is that on the one hand, there's the pronunciation of the country name as it's pronounced by the native population, by the people who live there, right? It's their native language. Now, often, English takes that pronunciation and changes it or adapts it a little to make it easier for native English speakers. So on the other hand, sometimes it sounds completely different. And it might also sound slightly different depending on which native English speaker you're speaking to. So an Australian might pronounce the same country name slightly different to a Canadian or a British person. Some native English people might pronounce this name Iraq, or they might say Iraq. So it depends on their accent. This lesson will show you how to pronounce all the different country names, or the 193 that have been recognized by the United Nations. And you'll also hear the pronunciation from me, which will help you to improve your listening skills. So I'll go through the names in alphabetical order. So if you're curious about a particular country, then you can just skip forward in the video. Now for my students, I know that this video is going to be long, but I think you should stay with me and practice the whole time, out loud. It's going to be a huge English gym workout for your mouth. I guarantee that we'll cover every single English sound in this lesson. Plus, it's a really fantastic opportunity to revise the International Phonetic Alphabet symbols, the IPA. Okay, revise those sounds and what they look like. All right, are you ready? Let's do this. Afghanistan. Afghanistan. Now, notice the little line there under the vowel. This is the stressed syllable in this word. And I'm going to use this line all the way through this lesson to show you which syllable has the main stress in English pronunciation, which vowel is the strongest vowel. You'll also see it shown in the phonemic script here as well. Now, if you're wondering what these crazy symbols are that I've put over here, then make sure you check out this lesson. If you're curious to find out, you want to learn more about the International Phonetic Alphabet to help you improve your pronunciation, check it out there. Albania. Albania. Notice that the stressed syllable is the A, as in day vowel sound. Albania. Albania. Algeria. Algeria. It's the same stress pattern as Albania. Algeria. Algeria. It's the J consonant sound. Algeria. Andorra. Andorra. So that stressed syllable is O, as in door. Andorra. Angola. Again, it's that same stress pattern. Angola. The stress is on the second syllable, but notice as well that the consonant sound is there instead of ang, Angola. Antigua and Barbuda. I'm a little nervous about this one because I'm not very good at saying it in English, but let's break it down together. Antigua, Antigua. The second syllable is the stressed syllable in the first word. It's the long E sound. Antigua. And the last two vowel letters are actually unstressed. They make just one sound, the schwa, Antigua. The and is reduced to n, Antigua, Barbuda. So there are two long vowel sounds here, ba and boo. But it's the second one that's stressed, so it's pronounced a little more strongly, a little clearer. And finally, the last syllable is an unstressed syllable, d. Antigua and Barbuda. Antigua and Barbuda. Argentina. Argentina. So the stress is on the third syllable this time. Argentina. So Argentinians and Spanish speakers notice that in English we use the j consonant sound, not the h sound. Argentina. Of course, you don't need to change your pronunciation to be understood, but to reduce your accent, you would try to pronounce the j sound. Argentina. Armenia. 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 Can you hear the stressed syllable there? Menia. Armenia. Armenia. Australia. Australia. So the main stress is on the second syllable, A. That's the A as in day vowel sound. Australia. Australia. I come from Australia. And since this is my home country, I'll give you a couple of extra tips. Many Australians are pretty lazy with their pronunciation and with their syllable stress. So you'll probably just hear Australia. Australia. So the final ia is reduced down to ya. And sometimes even the first syllable gets completely dropped. So instead of Australia, it's Australia. So that's just a bit of insider knowledge for you. Now, very similar is Austria. Austria. But you'll hear that the stress pattern is different, okay? The stress pattern puts the stress on the first syllable, okay? The first syllable is stressed. Austria. Austria. Australia. Austria. Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan. So the stress syllable here is actually the last one, Azerbaijan. Now, I always thought it was Azerbaijan, the j as in vision, not j as in jam. But there you have it. I was pronouncing it wrong. Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan. Oh, we're already up to B. Bahamas. Bahamas. Usually said the Bahamas. So the stress is on the second syllable there. Bahamas. Bahamas. Bahrain. Bahrain. Now, the long vowel sound is actually in the first syllable, ba, but the second syllable is the one that's stressed. Bahrain, Bahrain, Bahrain. Bangladesh, Bangladesh. Now, I know I've got a lot of students watching in Bangladesh, so hello to all of you in Bangladesh. The main stress here in English is on the final syllable, but notice that the first syllable also has a stress as well. Bangladesh, Bangladesh. That middle syllable reduces down to the schwa, Bangladesh. Barbados, Barbados. So there's a long vowel sound in the first syllable, but the stress is on the second syllable, Barbay, Barbay. And notice that the two A's are actually pronounced differently. Barbay, Barbay. Barbados. Belarus, Belarus. Belarus. So starting with bel, we have bella. The middle syllable is unstressed and it reduces to become the schwa sound. L, bella, Belarus. So the main stress is on the final syllable. Belarus, Belarus. Belgium, Belgium. The stress is on the first syllable. Bel, bel is the strongest sound. And the I and the U create the unstressed vowel sound, the schwa, in the second syllable. Belgium, Belgium, Belgium. Belize, Belize. So hear how that stressed vowel sound is a long vowel sound in the second syllable. Belize, Belize. And we're finishing with that Z consonant sound. Belize. Benin. Again, hear that long vowel sound in the second syllable. Benin, Benin. It's unusual for the letter I to be pronounced like that, but here we have it. Benin. Bhutan, Bhutan. So again, there is a long vowel sound in the first syllable, but the second syllable is the stressed one. Bhutan, Bhutan. Bolivia, Bolivia. The first syllable is unstressed. B, b. It's very low in pitch. B. Bolivia. The stress is on the second syllable. Bolivia, Bolivia. Bosnia and Herzegovina. Bosnia. Bos is the strong syllable there. Bosnia. 2 syllables are easy. What about 5? Herzegovina, Herzegovina. So herz. Hear the T sound that's added there. Herz, herz, Herzegov. That's the stress syllable. Herzegovina, Herzegovina. Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's quite a mouthful. Botswana, Botswana. So the stress here is on the second syllable, twa. So it's a little tricky thanks to all of those consonant sounds there. Twa, twa. Botswa, Botswana, Botswana, Botswana. Brazil. I also know I've got a lot of students watching from Brazil too, so hello to all of you. In English, we really hit the final O consonant sound there in Brazil. Brazil. So the unstressed schwa sound is heard in the first syllable. Br, br, br. But the stressed sound is on the second syllable. Brazil, Brazil. O, O, Brazil. Brunei, Brunei. So the first syllable has a longer sound, but it's the second syllable that's stressed. Brunei, Brunei. Bulgaria, Bulgaria. Bul, bul. That's an unstressed syllable. Bulgare, Bulgare. The second syllable there is the stressed syllable. Bulgaria, Bulgaria. Burkina Faso, Burkina Faso. Burkina, the stress there is on the second syllable. Burkina, Burkina. Burkina Faso, Burkina Faso. Burundi, Burundi. So we hear the as in book vowel sound there. Burundi. We hear it twice actually. Burun, Burun. The second syllable is the stressed syllable though. Burun, Burundi, Burundi. Cambodia. Cambodia. The stress is on the second syllable there. Bow. Bow. It's the O as in go vowel sound. Cambodia. Cambodia. Cameroon. Cameroon. So the stress there is on the final syllable. It's the long vowel sound. Oo. Cameroon. Cameroon. Canada. Canada. The stress is on the first syllable. And see how the second ones reduce to the schwa sound, the unstressed sound. Canada. It's probably one of the easiest country names to pronounce. And the people in Canada are also lovely. They are the nicest, most polite people that I've ever come across. So easy to say their name, very kind people. Probably worth a visit. Cape Verde Islands. Cape Verde Islands. So the final E on verde here is silent when spoken in English. Verde. And there's that plural islands again. It comes up all the time when you're talking about countries, doesn't it? It comes up very frequently. It's the I as in my or sky vowel sound, and it's followed by the unstressed vowel sound, the schwa. Lands. Lands. And notice that the plural S is actually pronounced as a voiced Z sound. Cape Verde Islands. The Central African Republic. Central African Republic. 3 words. Central. The first syllable there is stressed. African. The first syllable again. The second 2 reduce. African. Republic. Republic. So can you hear that in republic, it's the second syllable that's stressed. The first syllable reduces right down. It becomes the schwa. Republic. Republic. Chad. We're moving on to the ch consonant sound here. Chad. So bring the corners of your mouth in a little and flare your lips to make this sound. Ch, ch. Chad. Chad. Chile. Chile. Now, most English speakers will say Chile rather than Chile, though those who have actually visited Chile are probably likely to pronounce it a bit more like the locals. Chile. Chile. China. Again, we have the ch consonant sound. Ch. China. The consonant sound is followed by the I vowel sound. I as in my. Chai. Chai. And then we have the final unstressed syllable. N. 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 Unstressed. China. China. Colombia or Colombia. Native English speakers will say both, but the stress is on the second syllable. Colombia. Colombia. Comoros. Comoros. So the stress here is on the first syllable. Com. Comma. Comoros. The Republic of the Congo. Republic. Again, we learnt this one before. Republic. And it's followed by 2 unstressed words. Of the. They reduce down. Republic of the. Of the. Republic of the. Republic of the Congo. 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 So the stress there is on the first syllable. Republic of the Congo. Now, right next door to the Republic of the Congo is the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Democratic. democratic. So that stress there, can you hear it? Democratic, democratic, democratic. The Democratic Republic of the Congo. Costa Rica, Costa Rica. So we have Costa, Costa, Rica. So both unstressed syllables are schwa sounds there. Costa Rica, Costa Rica. Ivory Coast, Ivory Coast. Ivory. So again, we have the I as in my vowel sound here. Ivory. So we have a short syllable following. Iver, iver, ivory. Ivory, Ivory Coast. So this is the O as in go vowel sound. Coast, coast, Ivory Coast. Croatia, Croatia. Crow. Again, the O as in go vowel sound. So the middle syllable is the stressed one here. Croatia, Croatia. And again, the A as in day vowel sound. Croatia. The TIA here is actually pronounced as sh, sh. Croatia, Croatia. Cuba, Cuba. So remember, this is the English pronunciation of this word. So it's not Cuba, but Cuba, Cuba. Notice the Y sound that's included. Cuba, Cuba. Cyprus, Cyprus. It's the consonant letter Y that creates the stressed vowel sound here. Cyprus. The second syllable is shorter and lower in pitch. Cyprus, Cyprus, Cyprus. Czech Republic. This one's tricky for native English speakers too. The first word, Czech, sounds exactly like that word. Czech, Czech, Czech. So we went over republic a few countries ago, and the stress syllable there is the second syllable, republic. Czech Republic. And it's often used with the article the Czech Republic, the Czech Republic. Oof. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea. So there's quite a few words here, but let's focus on the stress. Democratic, democratic. People's, Democratic People's Republic. Democratic People's Democratic People's Republic of Korea. So we have the unstressed form of. It's low in pitch. Republic of, it kind of links to the end of republic. Republic of Korea. So the middle syllable is stressed there. Korea, Korea. The other two reduce to the schwa sound. Korea, Korea. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Also known as North Korea. North. So that's the O vowel sound followed by the unvoiced TH consonant sound. North, north, north. Push that air out through your mouth. North Korea, North Korea. Denmark, Denmark. The first syllable is stressed, it's the strongest. Denmark, Denmark. Djibouti. That's the J as in jam consonant sound, and the oo as in food vowel sound. Djibouti, Djibouti, Djibouti. Dominica, Dominica. Now be careful here. The stress is actually on the third syllable. Dominica. It's the long E vowel sound, as in she. Dominica, Dominica. So the other syllables reduce down. Dominica. Dominican Republic, Dominican Republic. So there's a little stress change there between the two that are very similar. It's not the Dominican Republic, but Dominican Republic. There's a stress change. Now we're stressing the second syllable, and the others become short and fast. Dominican, Dominican, Dominican Republic. East Timor, East Timor. So that's the long E vowel sound in east, east, and Timor. So the stress is on the first syllable. But note that there is a linking between these two words that happens when English is spoken, because east ends in the same consonant sound that Timor starts with. We can push those words together and we only pronounce the t sound once. East Timor, East Timor, East Timor. Ecuador, Ecuador. So can you hear that stress? It's on the first syllable. Ek, equa, Ecuador. So that last syllable is the or as in door vowel sound. Ecuador, Ecuador. Egypt, Egypt. So there's the long E vowel sound followed by the J consonant sound. Egypt, Egypt. Now don't forget the last consonant sound, the T. Egypt, Egypt, Egypt. So listen out for the final two consonants. They are both there, though the P reduces a little and it's without the air pushing. It's Egypt, Egypt, Egypt. El Salvador, El Salvador. So in English, we hear that V consonant sound clearly. Salva, salva, Salvador. Make sure that your teeth are touching your bottom lip to make that sound. V, vidor, vidor, Salvador. Equatorial Guinea, Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial, where is the stress there? It's the third syllable. Equatorial, equa, equa, equator, torial, equatorial. Now, don't worry about all of the vowel letters in the second word. It's simply pronounced Guinea, Guinea, Equatorial Guinea. Eritrea, Eritrea. So the third syllable is the stressed one and the others reduce down. Eritrea. Estonia, Estonia. So that stressed syllable there is the second one, the O vowel sound, as in go. Estonia, Estonia, Estonia. Ethiopia, Ethiopia. So the third syllable there is actually the strongest. We have E, thi, o, pia. Ethiopia, Ethiopia. Fiji, Fiji. it's the long E vowel sound, Fiji. So the consonant sound, J, J, Fiji, Fiji. Finland, Finland. The first syllable is stressed and the second syllable is unstressed, so that vowel sound reduces down. Finland, Finland. France, France. Notice that it is an unvoiced S consonant sound at the end there. France, France. Gabon, Gabon. The second syllable there is the stressed one. The first one reduces to the schwa, g, g. Gabon. The Gambia, the Gambia. So we have the unstressed the, Gambia, Gambia. So that first syllable there is the strongest one. Gambia, the Gambia. Georgia, Georgia. So starting with the J consonant sound, J as in jam, then the O vowel sound, jaw, jaw. Then we have the second syllable, which includes the unstressed schwa sound, J, J. Georgia, Georgia, Georgia. Same consonant sound again, Germany, Germany. So we have the same vowel sound and the first syllable is the stressed syllable, J, J. That's the as in her vowel sound. Germany, many, Germany. The two second syllables are reduced and unstressed. Germany. Ghana, Ghana. The first syllable is stressed, the second one unstressed. Ghana, Ghana. Oh my gosh, we're up to Greece. If you haven't been to Greece, you have to go. It is one of the most beautiful places that I've ever been. And the food. I'm just dreaming of a European summer right now. It's cold here in Australia. So we have one long sound of the vowel sound here because there is just one syllable. Greece, E, Greece, Greece. The final S consonant sound. Grenada, Grenada. Watch that middle syllable there, the stressed one. The sound is the A vowel sound, like in day. Grenada, not Grenada. Grenada, Grenada. Guatemala, Guatemala. So we've got 4 syllables here and the third one is stressed. Guatemala, Guatemala, Guatemala. Guinea. Now we've already talked about Guinea with Equatorial Guinea. So remember that you don't need to worry about all of the vowel letters here, okay? It's just pronounced Guinea, Guinea. And here we have it again. Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Bissau. So the stress is on the last syllable in the second word. It's the ow, as in now, vowel sound. Guinea-Bissau. Guyana, Guyana. The stress here is on the second syllable, but the first syllable also includes a stronger vowel sound. Guyana, Guyana, Guyana. Haiti, Haiti. So here the AI is pronounced A in the same way as day. It's the same vowel sound. Haiti, Haiti. Honduras, Honduras. So the stress there is on the second syllable, also the most trickiest. Jew, Honduras, Honduras, Honduras. Hungary, Hungary. Notice the extra little syllable there, so it sounds different from the adjective hungry. Hungary, Hungary, Hungary. Iceland, Iceland. So that's the first syllable that's stressed. I as in by or my. Ice. The next syllable is unstressed. Land. You hear the schwa sound. Land, land. Iceland, Iceland. India, India. The stress there is on the first syllable. India. I know I've got a lot of students watching in India as well, so I'm really pleased to say hello to all of you. India, India. Indonesia, Indonesia. So here we've got the third syllable stressed. Indonesia, Nesia, Indonesia. So that's the zh consonant sound, like in vision. Indonesia, Indonesia. Now, Indonesians will probably pronounce that as Indonesia, Indonesia. So that consonant sound is different to Indonesia, Indonesia. Indonesia is also a beautiful country to visit for a holiday. Iran, or some native speakers will say Iran. So the second syllable is where the stress is. The vowel sound might be slightly different. Iran, Iran. Same for Iraq and Iraq. Iraq, Iraq. I say Iraq. Ireland, Ireland. So this is a little tricky. It's pronounced slightly different to island. Ireland. There's an extra schwa sound in there. Ireland. Notice that I don't pronounce that R there, but Irish English speakers will. They will pronounce Ireland. Ireland. There's my rubbish Irish accent, but note that there will be a few distinctions between native English accents, and that's one of them. I would say Ireland, and Irish people would say something like Ireland. Anyway, if you want to practice with an Irish accent, practice pronouncing that R. Israel, Israel. That first syllable is the stressed syllable. Israel, Israel. Italy, Italy. The first syllable is the stressed syllable. The other two reduce. Italy. Okay, let's take a break. A quick ad break, grab a mouthful of water, shake things up a little bit and relax, then come back and join me for the letter J. Jamaica, Jamaica. So that's the J as in jam consonant sound. The second syllable is the stressed one and the others reduce. Jamaica, Jamaica. So that's the A as in day vowel sound. Jamaica. Japan, Japan. Again, we have the J consonant sound followed by the schwa, which tells us that the first syllable is unstressed. J, J, J. Japan. So that's the A as in apple. Strong vowel sound in the second syllable. Japan. Jordan, Jordan. Again, the j consonant sound, followed by the or vowel sound. Or as in door. Jordan. Jordan. The second syllable is unstressed. Jordan. Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan. Kazakh. Kazakh. Kazakhstan. So the stress there is on the final syllable. And there's quite a few countries that end with this suffix stan. Okay, so you'll hear native English speakers pronouncing it either stan or stan. Kazakhstan. Kenya. Kenya. So that stress is on the first syllable. Kenya. 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 Kiribati. Kiribati. The third syllable is the stressed one. Kiribati. Kiribati. Kuwait. Kuwait. That's the as in book vowel sound. Kuwait. The a vowel sound. Wait. Kuwait. Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan. So you'll see that the third syllable is the stressed syllable, but the first syllable is also quite strong. It's a secondary stress. Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan. Laos. Laos. This is the ow as in now vowel sound. Laos. Laos. Latvia. Latvia. The first syllable is the stressed one. Latvia. Lebanon. The first syllable is stressed and the second and third syllables are unstressed. Lebanon. Lebanon. Lesotho. Okay, this one I have been saying incorrectly for my whole entire life. It's not Lesotho, like I've been saying, but it's Lesotho. Lesotho. So the stress is on the second syllable there. Ooh, that's the ooh as in zoo vowel sound. Lesotho. And the TH you don't need to pronounce as a TH sound. It's just T. Lesotho. Liberia. So the first syllable is the I as in by vowel sound. Liberia. So the second syllable is stressed and it has the ear as in here vowel sound. Liberia. Liberia. Libya. Libya. So the first syllable there is the strongest as well. Libya. Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein. Lich is the strongest syllable. Liechtenstein. Stein. That's the I as in by vowel sound. Liechtenstein. Lithuania. 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 So it's the third syllable that's stressed. Lithuania. Luxembourg. Lux. So we have the k, s consonant sounds together. Lux. Luxem. Luxembourg. So that last syllable there is pronounced, the vowel sound is pronounced as in her. Luxembourg. Luxembourg. Madagascar. Madagascar. So we have a couple of stressed syllables here, but the third one is the strongest. Madagascar. The first syllable is also quite strong. Madagascar. Malawi. Malawi. So the middle syllable there is the stressed one, the strongest syllable. Malawi. Malawi. Malaysia. Malaysia. The second syllable there is the stressed one, Malaysia. The other two are unstressed syllables, so they reduce. And just like Indonesia, you'll hear the zh consonant sound, zh, as in vision. Malaysia, Malaysia, Malaysia. I used to live in Malaysia, actually, in Penang. Also delicious food, lots of beautiful places to visit too. I recommend it. Maldives, Maldives. Not the Maldives, but Maldives, Maldives. The or, as in door vowel sound, is the stressed sound. Then you hear the long E vowel sound in the second syllable. Maldives, Maldives. Gosh, the Maldives is one place that I would love to visit. Have you ever been? I hear it's quite expensive, but maybe that's why people go there for their honeymoon. But it's on my bucket list. I really want to go. Mali, Mali. So that long ah vowel sound is the stressed sound. Mali, Mali. Malta, Malta. Now you might hear the vowel sound in that stressed syllable pronounced slightly differently by different native English speakers, but I say Malta. Marshall Islands, Marshall Islands. So ma is the stressed syllable, ah, ma, and then you're adding the sh consonant sound. Marshall, Marshall, Marshall Islands. Mauritania, Mauritania. So that stressed syllable there is the third, the A as in day vowel sound. Mauritania. And we can hear the first sound quite clearly too. Mo, mo, Mauritania, Mauritania, Mauritania. Mauritius, Mauritius. So the first syllable is unstressed. You can see that it reduces to the schwa. M, m, m. Mauri. So there's the stressed syllable, Mauri, Mauri, Mauritius. So we have Mauritius. So here as well, how the third syllable reduces down to the schwa. Mauritius. Okay, now in English, it's Mexico, Mexico. Another place that is on my bucket list. Mexico. Watch out for the consonant cluster here in the English pronunciation. You have k, s, x, mex, Mexico. Okay, that last syllable uses the O as in go vowel sound. Mexico, Mexico. Micronesia, Micronesia. Now think back to Indonesia. This is very similar, right? It's the same stress pattern. Zh is the consonant sound there. Micronesia, Indonesia. Okay, it's that long vowel sound. Micronesia. Moldova, Moldova. So we've got two letter O's here, but they're pronounced differently. The main stress in the second syllable is pronounced as O, like the verb go. Moldova, Moldova. Monaco, Monaco. So the first syllable is stressed and the second syllable relaxes to become the schwa. Mona, Mona. Monaco. Mongolia, Mongolia. So the second syllable there is stressed. Mongolia. 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 Montenegro. Montenegro. The third syllable there is stressed. Montenegro. You can hear that the first one is also quite strong. Montenegro. And that final syllable there is the O as in go sound. Montenegro. Montenegro. Morocco. Morocco. So the second syllable there is the stressed one. Morocco. So that final syllable is the O vowel sound, but the stressed syllable in the middle is the short O sound. Morocco. Mozambique. Mozambique. So the first syllable, we have the O vowel sound. Mozam. Mozam. And the last syllable is the stressed syllable. It's louder and clearer. Mozambique. Mozambique. The long E vowel sound. Myanmar. Myanmar. This is actually an interesting word for native English speakers to try and pronounce because the and y consonant sounds don't often appear together in English. Myan, Myan. But it's the second syllable that is stressed. Myanmar, Myanmar, Myanmar. Namibia, Namibia. Can you hear that second syllable is the stressed one? Namibia, Namibia. Nauru. 3 syllables here, and the second one is stressed. Nauru. So if there are any Australians watching at this point, our neighbours, our little neighbours, must be pretty sick of us calling their country Nauru. It's Nauru. Nauru. Nepal. Nepal. So it's the second syllable that's stressed here. And the vowel is the O as in door vowel sound. Pol. Nepal. The Netherlands. The Netherlands. So we have an unstressed the, followed by the stressed syllable ne, ne. And then followed by the voiced consonant sound, nev, nev. Netherlands, Netherlands. New Zealand, New Zealand. Can you see that extra y there that's included in the word new, new? Try to make sure that you can hear that word, new. Then the second word, Zealand, has the first syllable stressed. Zealand. New Zealand. You'll hear lots of English pronunciations of this one. Nicaragua. Nicaragua. Which is quite different from the way that Nicaraguans actually pronounce their country name. But this is how English speakers usually pronounce it. Nicaragua. Niger or Niger. Okay, so there's 2 different pronunciations that you'll hear native English speakers using. Niger is much closer to the French pronunciation of this word, which I think makes it a little more correct. But you'll hear Niger quite a lot as well. And that might be because of Nigeria, Nigeria, where you hear the second syllable stressed. Nigeria. That's the ear as in here vowel sound. Nigeria. Norway. Norway. So for Norway, you'll hear the first syllable stressed. It's much louder and much stronger than the second one. Norway. Oman. Oman. The second syllable has the stronger stress, and it's the longer vowel sound. Ah, like in father. Oman. Oman. Pakistan. Pakistan. So again, you'll always hear the stressed syllable pronounced slightly differently depending on which native speaker you're listening to. But you'll hear a strong first syllable and the main third syllable stressed. Pakistan. Pakistan. Palau. Palau. See the unstressed syllable at the start, p, and the stronger lao as the second syllable, Palau. Panama. 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 The first and the last syllables there are quite strong. Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea. So the first word has three syllables. Papua. Papua. Papua New Guinea. Again, lots of vowel letters in that last word, but it's just pronounced Guinea. Paraguay. Paraguay. So the first syllable is stressed and the third syllable is quite interesting. It's pronounced guay. Guay. Paraguay. Peru. Peru. Another place on my bucket list. First syllable unstressed, second syllable stressed. Peru. 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 Philippines. Philippines. So in English, the PH makes the F consonant sound. And the first two syllables are very short and fast. Philly, Philly, Philly. Philippine, Philippines. Z, z. It's the Z voiced consonant sound. Philippines. Poland. Poland. So here in the first stressed syllable, we have the O as in go vowel sound. Poland. Portugal. Another beautiful country. Portugal. So that's the O as in door sound in the first and stressed syllable. Portu. Portu. Portugal. Gul. That's an unstressed syllable at the end, very low in pitch. Portugal. Qatar. Or Qatar, depending on which English speaker you hear. Qatar or Qatar. So the stress changes there. Romania. Romania. Now the main stress is on the second syllable. So it's A as in day. Romania. And the first syllable is unstressed, so it reduces right down. Sometimes to the schwa, sometimes you'll hear Romania, but usually the schwa. Romania. Russia. Russia. The stress is on the first syllable there, and it is a short vowel sound. Ah. The vowel sound as in up. Ra, Russia. Followed by, so the double S here, SSIA, makes sh, the sh consonant sound. Russia. That's the unstressed schwa sound at the end. Russia. Rwanda. Rwanda. So the first syllable you have the oo as in shoe vowel sound. Ru, but the second syllable is stressed. Rwanda. Rwanda. St. Kitts and Nevis. St. Kitts and Nevis. So for saint, it's often said quite quickly as St. Kitts, St. Kitson. Hear how and reduces to n and links to the consonant sound before it. Kitson, Kitson. St. Kitts and Nevis. That's a longer vowel sound there on the first syllable. St. Kitts and Nevis. St. Lucia. St. Lucia. The stress on the first syllable is ooh. Then CIA is pronounced as sh. Lucia. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So we have St. Vincent. St. Vincent. St. Vincent and again we can link that vowel sound to the consonant sound. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Gren is the stressed syllable there. Grenadines. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Samoa. Samoa. That stressed syllable is the O as in go vowel sound. Samoa. San Marino. San Marino. So the stress there is on re. Marino. Marino. San Marino. Sao Tome and Principe. Now I have to admit that I'm not the best person to pronounce this correctly, but as a native English speaker who doesn't speak Portuguese, I'm going to give it my best shot. So we have Sao, Sao, that's the ow as in now vowel sound. Sao, Sao, t. So that t is unstressed. You can see the schwa there. May is stressed. It sounds like a as in day. Sao Tome, Sao Tome, Sao Tomean, and Sao Tomean Principe. It kind of rhymes. Sao Tome and Principe. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia. So you have the stressed syllable in Arabia. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia. Senegal. Senegal. So the last syllable here is the stressed syllable. Senegal. It's the o as in door vowel sound. Senegal. Senegal. Serbia. Serbia. So that stress is on the first syllable. Serbia. Seychelles. Seychelles. Now the second syllable is actually the stressed one. Shells. Sounds a lot like shells. Seychelles. And don't forget the plural z sound at the end. Seychelles. Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone. Now it's actually the last syllable that's stressed there. It's the O as in go vowel sound. Sierra Leone. O, Leone, Leone. Sierra Leone. Singapore. 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 It's the first syllable that's stressed. Sing, we have that consonant sound. Sing, sing, that unstressed vowel sound. Singapore or Singapore. Slovakia. Slovakia. You can hear that stress is on the second syllable. Slovakia. Slovakia. Slovenia. Slovenia. It has the same stress pattern. Slovenia. It's that long E vowel sound. Slovenia. Solomon Islands. Solomon Islands. So the stress there is on the first syllable. Solomon. You can see how the other two syllables in Solomon reduce to the schwa. Solomon Islands. Somalia. Somalia. The second syllable is the strongest. Somalia. South Africa. So in the first word, we have the ow as in now vowel sound and the unvoiced th. South. South. South Africa. Africa. Is the strongest syllable in Africa. And the consonant th and the vowel sound can link together. South Africa. South Africa. South Korea. South Korea. So we have South Korea. Korea. So that's the second syllable that's stressed there. Korea. I'm pretty excited. I'm visiting South Korea next week, and it's my first time to visit South Korea. I'm going to Seoul, the capital. So I think that street food is pretty amazing there in South Korea. So I'm going to eat as much as I can while I'm there, and I'll report back. South Sudan. South Sudan. Sudan. So the second syllable there is the stressed one. Sudan. South Sudan. Spain. Spain, also delicious food. Oh my gosh, this video is making me hungry. Spain has the A as in day vowel sound. Spain. Notice that the consonant is the consonant, okay? Spain. Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka. Sri is unstressed, so it's quite short and low in pitch, but our main syllable, the stressed syllable, is lang. Lang. Lanka. Lanka. Sri Lanka. Sudan. Sudan, which we went over a few minutes ago. Suriname. Now, this first vowel sound is quite an uncommon one. It's the as in tour vowel sound. Suri, Suriname. And the last syllable is the stressed syllable, Suriname. Swaziland. Now, I just found out that only a few months ago did this country name change. And now it's not called Swaziland, it's known as the Kingdom of Eswatini. So forget Swaziland, it's the Kingdom of Eswatini now. Sweden. Sweden. So that stressed syllable is the first syllable and it's a long vowel sound. Sweden. Sweden. Switzerland. Switzerland. So our strongest syllable is swit. It's a short vowel sound, but we have the consonant cluster s, w. Swit, swit. Switzer. Switzerland. Syria. Syria. The Y makes a short vowel sound, I. Syria. Tajikistan. Tajikistan. So the main stress here, like all of the other stans, is on the last syllable, but we can also hear the first syllable clearly. Tajikistan. 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 Tanzania. Tanzania. So here we've got the third syllable is stressed. It's a short vowel sound, but it's the strongest. Tanzania. Thailand. Thailand. Now the TH doesn't make the usual f sound here. It's not Thailand, but Thailand. So in English, actually, we pronounce Thailand with a stress on the first syllable. Thai people usually stress the second syllable. Thailand, Thailand. Another beautiful country with delicious food. Togo, Togo. So we have the same vowel sound that's repeated. It's the O as in go sound. Togo. Tonga, Tonga. The stress is on the first syllable, tongue, tongue, with the second syllable being the reduced schwa sound. Tonga. Trinidad and Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad. So that's all short vowel sounds. Trinidad, Trinidad. The reduced and sound. Tobago, Tobago. That's the A as in day vowel sound. Trinidad and Tobago. Tunisia, Tunisia. So notice here the Y consonant sound. Tu, tu. Not tu, but tu. Tunisia. Turkey, Turkey. The stressed syllable is the first one, and it's the as in her vowel sound. Turkey, Turkey. Turkmenistan, Turkmenistan. So again, we're starting with the vowel sound here. Turk, Turk. Men. Now, men is the secondary stress here, so we hear it a little more clearly. Turkmen, Turkmen, Turkmeni, Turkmenistan. Stan is the strongest syllable. Tuvalu, Tuvalu. The second syllable is the strongest one, and they're all long vowel sounds. Tuvalu, Tuvalu. Uganda, Y. We have that Y sound there. Uganda. The second syllable is stressed. Uganda. Ukraine. Again, we have that U pronunciation. Ukraine. The second syllable is the stressed one. Crane. It's the A as in day vowel sound. Ukraine. United Arab Emirates. United Arab Emirates. So you have United Arab, United Arab, United Arab Emirates. The stress in Emirates is on the first syllable. Emirates. United Arab Emirates. The United Kingdom. United Kingdom. United Kingdom. Now, of course, the United Kingdom is made up of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. And I want to highlight England because some of my students, particularly my Chinese and Korean students, they have trouble with the first vowel sound in England. It's a short I, not the E vowel sound. It's English, not English. It's England, not England. Okay, so focus on that short I sound. England. Notice how the second syllable reduces to the schwa. Glund, glund, glund. England. The United States of America. United. We've been over this one. United States. So states has the A as in day vowel sound. United States of reduced sound there. United States of America. Okay, so we have America. It's that second syllable that's stressed and strongest. The United States of America. Uruguay. Uruguay. Okay, so you can hear at the end there that AI is pronounced as I, like by. Uruguay. 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 Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan. It's the as in book vowel sound at the start. Uzbekistan. So be is the second stress, stan is the strongest stress. Uzbekistan. Vanuatu. Vanuatu. That third syllable is the stressed one. Vanuatu. Venezuela. Venezuela. Notice that in English, the pronunciation of that V is V, V. Instead of B, Venezuela, it's V, Venezuela. Just like V, Vietnam, Vietnam. Yemen, Yemen. Again, that Y sound, but the stress is on the first syllable. Yemen. Zambia, Zambia. The first syllable is stressed. Zambia. Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe. The second syllable is the strong one. Ba, Zimbabwe, way. Zimbabwe. Oh, phew! We made it! If you stayed with me the whole way through that lesson, give yourself a huge pat on the back. That was insane. I'm completely exhausted now. But keep in mind that this is the standard English pronunciation of these countries in my Australian accent. So there's definitely going to be variations when you listen to pronunciation between native English speakers. But learning and practicing the English pronunciation with me is going to help you to communicate a little more clearly and to help your listening skills as well. I need a glass of water. I need to drink about 3 of those. I'm sure you do too. This has been such a great pronunciation practice lesson. It's literally like taking your mouth to the gym for a workout. I think you probably need about 5 minutes break before I send you to another video, so I won't recommend any just yet. But please do hit that subscribe button down there if you haven't done so already. You definitely have earned new lessons from mmmEnglish just by sticking around through that whole lesson. So make sure you click that button, click the little bell button so that you get notified whenever I release a new lesson for you. Thanks for watching and thanks for working so hard with me today. You're amazing. Thanks for watching and I will see you next week. Bye for now.